United USA 2020. Check this out.
On legal action hitting Trump. New York Attorney General Letitia James today suing Donald Trump, 3 of his children, and his entire company. This is new. It builds on things you've heard about, but it is a culmination of this investigation she has so doggedly pursued. We're going to get into it with our experts. Let me tell you, James is saying Trump has committed, quote, staggering fraud, that he lied about the value of his properties, that he lied to the authorities, that he lied in financial statements, that he did it for over a decade, and that he furnished, and this matters for the law, false information to banks, insurance companies, as well as state authorities, and then he would try to get favorable loans and cheat on his taxes.
Patent of fraud and deception that was used by Mr. Trump and the Trump Organization for their own financial benefit is astounding. Claiming you have money that you do not have does not amount to the art of the deal. It's the art of the steal. And there cannot be different rules for different people in this country or in this state. And former presidents are no different. No one is above the law.
That is the statement. That is the Attorney General, who has proven so aggressive in so many cases without fear or favor. She's pursued people in both parties. And while the nature of her work means that some of this is vaguely familiar, especially to people in New York and people who follow legal news, but really around the country, you might say, didn't I hear about this before? Haven't I heard about the asset valuation? Haven't I heard about basically that he's under investigation? Well, everything just changed with this case. It is the culmination. It is a bigger legal problem for him than he's ever had before in the Attorney General's office. And this really first of a kind action today was rocketing across the world of news.
We are following unprecedented breaking news involving former President Donald Trump.
The New York Attorney General just hit Donald Trump with a $250 million lawsuit.
New York's Attorney General, Letitia James, alleging widespread business fraud.
Filing a lawsuit against former President Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump.
Documents don't lie, and documents don't forget.
This is tough stuff for the Trump Organization. There's no question this is a dark day for them.
Dark and tough for them because of the exhaustive receipts. The lawsuit has over 200 fraudulent actions or misleading valuations. The penalties could go up to $250 million. Trump and his children could be barred from doing business not only at the Trump Org, but from really running any New York company. That's one of the punishments that James is seeking. The family and organization could also not be allowed to get money anymore, to get liquidity, to get bank funding in New York. A big deal. Trump has always said he's a deal maker. And let's be clear, he convinced a lot of people with understandable props, actions, funds, support from the banks. At times, the New York legal and governmental community really largely looking the other way. And by the way, that includes a lot of registered Democrats in New York who fill out some of these offices. So a lot of people in America thought, well, he is this rich and he must be somewhat good at business. So this hits him legally. It also hits the core promise and brand he's ever made, what you see on the front of the buildings. It also touches on his most high-profile properties. Trump Tower, 40 Wall Street in Manhattan, where James says he doubled the valuation. That's not a rounding error. Claiming something that was worth $200 million should be $530 million. Seven Springs, which is an upstate property, Trump said $250 million. It was 10 times more than what James thought were comparable properties. Mar-a-Lago, Trump said $739 million, according to James' new case. She says it's worth, no shade, no disrespect, it's not worth $739 million, no matter how large it is, or $500 million, or $200 million, or maybe $100 million. James says, and there'll be a court process to find out whether she's more truthful or he is, but she says it's just $75 million. Or Trump Tower, which I mentioned, Trump said $800 million. James says that should actually be factually valued around $200 million. Now, why do we have to go through each of them? You might be watching at home and say, Ari, I think I knew Donald Trump lied about his properties. Why is that breaking news? Well, the answer is this is not about what you kind of thought or assumed or what was obvious from his bluster, and it's not about whether he ever told fables on The Apprentice, which was carried on our sister channel NBC, by the way, full disclosure. You're allowed to go on entertainment programs and tell all kinds of stories. This is about whether he lied to the government, lied to the authorities, lied to the banks, lied to the IRS in ways that meant you had to pick up the tab, and you, the honest taxpayer, if you are paying your taxes, you pick up the tab while he runs out on the bill and then claims to be a billionaire.
Well, that is not surprising to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done videos about this before. I'm not for him, not against the guy, but seems like somebody's out to get him, but they're digging up some dirt. Let me know what you think. Comment below, like and share.